Welcome to the Building Blocks of Reading Phonemic Awareness course, Video 1. The purpose of this Phonemic Awareness course is to teach you the things you need to know so that you are ready to learn to read. In this Phonemic Awareness course, you'll learn how written English works, all the sounds in English, a picture and a hand sign to help you remember each sound, how to separate the sounds in a word you have spoken, how to blend those separate sounds into a word, and how to work out what the word is. Then you'll be ready to learn the letters. We'll start with how written English works, which begins with a brief history lesson. Whenever you see this knight's helmet, it means we're going to do a history lesson. A long time ago, many people lived in small villages. In each village there was a hut where people stored stuff. Sometimes the people in charge of the hut had trouble remembering who owned the things in the hut. So they decided to draw pictures to help themselves remember. So they started drawing a picture for each person who wanted to store stuff. And next to the person's picture, they drew a picture of what that person was storing in the hut. This man stored 3 goat skins and 2 sacks of grain. This lady stored 6 sheep skins, and so on. These pictures worked well, so well that people wanted to write about more and more things. So they invented more and more pictures, until eventually there were so many pictures, people had trouble remembering what each of them meant. Then some very clever people worked out that no matter what people said, everyone was using the same sounds over and over again. I'm going to show you how that worked. But as you learn this, we'll have to take turns, so I'll explain how you'll know when it's your turn and how you'll know when it's my turn. When you see a green arrow, it's your turn to speak. When you see an orange arrow, it's my turn to speak and your turn to listen. Now let's go back to what those clever people worked out years ago about how people used the same sounds over and over again when they spoke. I'm going to make some sounds, and when the arrow turns green, repeat what I said. Z, oo, z, oo, zoo. Here's a picture of some zoo animals. Let's see what word we end up with when we say those sounds in a different order. Ooh, z, ooze, ooze. If you squeeze this paint tube, the yellow paint will ooze out of the tube. Notice how zoo and ooze use the same two sounds. Let me say those sounds again. Zoo, ooze. This is what those clever people noticed long ago. People weren't making lots of new sounds when they spoke. Instead, all their words were made from the same 40 or 50 sounds. People just used those sounds in different orders to make all their words. And it's the same now. In English, we use between 40 and 46 sounds, depending on the type of English we speak. So the clever people decided they would start writing words by drawing a picture for each sound in a word. So the clever people decided to stop inventing a new picture for everything people wanted to write about. Instead, they decided to use a picture for each sound. That meant people only had to learn 40 or 50 pictures. Then they could read and write. Let's try reading and writing this way, with a picture being used to mean a sound instead of a thing, so you can understand how it worked. To show you how drawing a picture for each sound in a word worked, I'll teach you 6 pictures and use each picture to show a sound. Once I've shown you the 6 pictures, I'll draw a green arrow to show it's your turn to say the sound. Then you'll do a little revision. Then on the following video, I'll write words with those pictures, just the way people long ago drew a picture for each sound in their words. Remember, I'll tell you a sound, you say the sound, then I'll tell you the answer. This is the picture for apple. Apple begins with sound A. When you see this picture, say A. A. This is the picture for egg. Egg begins with sound E. When you see this picture, say E. E. This is the picture for mountains. Mountains begins with M. When you see this picture, say M. M. This is the picture for necklace. Necklace begins with N. When you see this picture, say N. N. This is the picture for raw. Raw begins with R. When you see this picture, say R. R. This is the picture for snake. Snake begins with S. When you see this picture, say S. S. Now I'll show you the pictures, and you can see how many sounds you can remember. This time, the arrow will be green, so it's your turn to go first. Then the arrow will turn orange, and I'll give the answer. A. E. Mm. Mm. Oo. S. E. Oo. S. Mm. Mm. Ah. Well done. When you're happy you know the work on this video, go to video 2, where we'll write words with these pictures.